Welcome to the Employment Wednesday podcast with Yvonne Shabangu. Have you heard of the scripture Hosea 4 verse 6? My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. The same applies to your career. When you don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you are likely to make wrong career choices. But worry not. Employment Wednesdays is here for you to offer you all the answers relating to your career and offer you strategies to develop your career. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. You are welcome to another episode of Employment Wednesdays, Law Without Borders. So there was an accusation, that I bring people that are already attorneys, but I'm saying people shouldn't get admitted as attorneys. I'm gatekeeping the profession. I'm not the one gatekeeping the profession. It's the people that set board exams that are gatekeeping the profession. But anyway, today I'm sitting with a guest, and also I feel like, why I was insisting that you should come? Because I always have females.
Yeah.
Guys never want to come. So I felt like, oh my God. So at least the guys are represented, so at least we know that in the profession there are guys that are actually doing well and that are trying to grow. So today I'm seated with Katleho Mohlokoane, who's an LLB graduate from the University of Johannesburg, and then he is currently a governance and compliance consultant at one of the big firms. I'm not going to mention because, Abang Patal, it's not a sponsored podcast. And he's currently pursuing his LLM in commercial law. Yeah. Did I miss anything?
No, you did not.
Okay.
That was really good. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to go into our icebreaker questions. This is where I ask the tea that I've been wanting to ask. This is where you tell us how much you get paid with the cents included.
Then your tea is going to be very cold. That's not happening.
So which party did you vote for? You're not going to tell us about the salaries? You're not going to tell us about your father's
I don't want to get political. But can I say really?
No, you don't have to.
Okay. I'm a fighter.
Okay, we know the radical ones.
Yes. Oh, wait, am I radical?
Yes.
I didn't
The
know.
fighters are radical.
No.
Like...
No, you're giving us bed rap, but we're not here to. We're not here to.
They're radical in a positive sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then if you were a drink, what drink would you be and why?
I don't want to sound like an alcoholic. But gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic. Why gin and tonic?
It's also, I'm going to sound classist, but it's quite classy, is it not? It's delicious. It's pure. It's just.
It's got that thing.
Yeah, Yeah, okay. So I'd be that, but if I were honest, I'd be water.
Okay, then we can go with your honest answer because that's the whole point, getting to know you. Water.
Just necessary.
Okay, you are a necessity in society. Yeah. Okay, love that. And then what song can you sing word for word?
Now I'm showing that I'm a nerd. So back in varsity, I used to be very deep into K-pop.
Okay.
So I can sing one song word for word. It's by Taeyang, Eyes, Nose, and Lips. I'm not sure if I'm singing it word for word, but in my mind, word for word.
Word for word.
In my mind.
If we say sing it right now, there's 5 million waiting for you.
I'm going to get cancelled in Korea because probably I'm saying a lot of slurs.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine. What's your weirdest food combination?
Yeah, I don't have any. I guess if I could say amasi and sugar, but everyone is having.
Why do you put sugar in amasi?
Everyone in their right sense of mind has amasi with sugar and puts pineapples on pizza. That's the law of the world.
Okay, I do put pineapples on pizza, but I'm not putting sugar in amasi. Do you have cornflakes with sugar?
Yes.
You've got a problem. We danger to the society.
This is why I'm radical.
What do you think the youth needs the most right now?
Yeah, we said we're not going to be political, but I think we really do need political and economic freedom.
Okay.
The voice of the youth is not heard enough. And we could have seen during these elections, the youth were queuing. And I'm very thankful for that. We were queuing. We're trying to get our voice heard. We're trying to get emancipated. We're trying to live the dreams of our parents, whereby you go to school, you graduate, you get a job, and you live a good upper middle class life, but so far we see that that's not happening.
Sure.
So we need that economic freedom, if I would say, and maybe we can do that via voting. It's good that the youth came out. Let's do that for the municipal elections. Let's do that for national, and let's be active in society and just not complain on social media.
Yeah, love that. From what you're saying, I'm getting the fact that instead of just aspiring to be these things, lawyers, doctors, accountants, let's also aspire to be leaders that are the people responsible for the big changes in society, so that we're not just on social media complaining or just complaining from behind the scenes. So it is important that we actually step up and be leaders and make a difference. What does June 16 mean to you?
It's Youth Month. It's when the youth actually did what I just said we should do.
Yeah.
They got out, and unfortunately during that time, you couldn't get out.
Yes.
And if you did, bad things happened to you. So they got out, they made their voice heard, not only nationally, but internationally.
Sure.
And if you study the history, you'd see that after June 16, apartheid was looked at very badly. And society was like, actually, no, this is a bad thing. And it goes on to show that the voice of the youth, if the youth actually come out and say, this is our future, let's make our voice heard. And that's what June 16 is, and Youth Month. And hopefully every day can be Youth Month.
Yes,
And
hopefully.
we don't only get one day in a year.
Yeah, I really hope we are the type of generation that doesn't just show up and be impactful when it's these big events, but we live our every day of our lives trying to do better for our country and trying to do better for Africa. I've seen a lot of conversations surrounding, no, this is South African stuff, but what we don't realize, we're the star of Africa.
Yeah.
So if we don't do things that are exemplary or things that are impactful, we actually impact every other SADC country. Yeah. We impact every other African country. So it's like we are that number one student in class. So it is important that in this June month, this youth month, you actually consider what is it that you do for your community. I mean, you don't have to all be volunteers and stuff, but look at yourself. What is it that you're able to do to make a difference in your society, in your community, at work, everywhere you go, all right? So now that we're done with the serious country problems, we're going to go into your business. As a child in high school, at high school level, what did you want to be?
I went to a Kasi school.
Okay.
So when you are from the Kasi school, you only have 4 options. It's either you're a teacher, actually I think it's 5. You're a teacher, you're a policeman, you're a lawyer, a doctor, or a social worker.
Okay.
So for me, first it was a doctor, obviously.
Okay.
Then I grew up, saw movies, want to be a pilot, obviously.
Yes.
Then I watched Suits in grade 10. I was like, oh, yes, I want to be a lawyer.
Sure.
Joined debates, did that. Went to varsity, got it. Actually, matric, got amazing marks.
Okay.
Then my parents were like, you can make money, engineering. I was like, yeah, engineering.
Yeah.
Did engineering. But my heart has always been in being a lawyer.
Okay.
And what happened in varsity clearly showed I need to be a lawyer. And I pivoted and became a lawyer. I guess I achieved my dreams and did what I wanted to do when I was a child.
I love how casually you say I pivoted, like from engineering, and I don't want to seem like I'm undermining lawyers, but I see engineers as the most smartest people. I really think they're cool, they're smart, they're funny, right? Yeah. So you do engineering, right? Where did you study your engineering?
I studied at Wits.
At Wits? Oh, down the road. So you came from down the road and went up the road.
Yeah.
Hey, controversial, yes.
Yeah, no. So, there's this, and it's something you touched on, there's this idea that engineers are smart, and yes, they are smart. But maybe I'm going to say something that engineers are going to hate me for. But there's a saying that in engineering, your first 4 years are the best first year of your life.
Okay.
And that goes on to show how hard it is. Like, you fail, it takes multiple years just to get the first hurdle. And lawyers are also smart. They're just bad at maths. And maybe that's what I am too, just bad at maths. And that's how I was able to do the pivot. With hard work, you can achieve anything.
Okay.
And that's why it's so easy to say you can pivot because you put in the hard work and the world is your oyster.
Yeah, I love that because I think many of us now, like right now as things stand, a lot of people are trying to pivot. A lot of people are trying to pivot out of practice, your traditional practice in law, and people are trying to explore digital careers and all of these things, right? I want you to take us through the moment you decided. So you completed your engineering degree.
No, I did not.
You didn't complete it.
I was in my first 4 years where I'm still trying to get over the first hurdle. But if I could explain myself, if my mom is watching, Mom, if you're watching, I think I always knew that engineering was not for me, but it was for the people that I wanted to make happy. You know, like your dad was like, yeah. My dad worked at a Samanco. It's a steel smelting thing.
Okay.
So he saw engineers around him and he always like, oh, these people make
This
money.
is cool. Yeah.
So when I got good marks, he was like, you know what, just try engineering. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And I guess that's one of the privileges I had.
Oh, they gave you room to say, give it a try. But if it doesn't work out, you can always try what you really want.
Yes. And I'm really thankful for that. And it's one privilege that I know a lot of people
don't have. Sure.
Yeah, it's one shot, one go. And you have to get this degree you have. But yeah, I did engineering, and I think it was halfway through where I realized, no, I don't like this.
Do you remember that particular day? Like, what went down your mind where you're like, no?
It's when I got 18% in a chemistry exam I studied really hard for on my birthday.
What?
The mark came out. The mark came out, and I was like, you know what? No, I can't live like this the rest of my life. No, I actually want to chase my dreams. This is not it. Because if you are struggling this hard on what is supposed to be the easy years, no. Let me just,
it's not gonna work.
Yeah, let me go where I think I'm going to enjoy. And yeah, I enjoyed it. With one thing about law is that there's no one answer.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's
there's no
true.
one answer. So in engineering, the answer is 0.1. That's it.
Standard. There's no navigating and all of that.
And it didn't help that adverts at that time, we didn't use calculators for maths.
What?
Yes.
Oh, you did. I think that's Zim style where you calculate on paper. Like there's no time for you to. It forces you to apply your mind.
So not having a calculator was like, no. So with law, there's no one answer. As long as you know the theory, as long as you know what case law says, you can critique it. And that's what I noticed that when I was in varsity and started critiquing and showing understanding of what you studied, you get better marks.
Yes, that's true.
So if the answer is still black, you know, you can say, yes, the answer is black, but through my understanding, through applying this case, through applying the case law, this is not what the answer should be. And that's what shows critical thinking and that creativity law has that no other career has apart from maybe drawing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I love that. So now, Nem, you decide on your birthday that, you know what, this is not going to work. I'm failing. I'm going to chase my dream. Do you then just walk out of class, or do you like just finish that month? Like, I want the specifics of from that day and you going to deliver the news home, and what was the reaction like?
Yeah, so I grew up, like I said, I grew up in the township. So even though I said, no, I'm done, I decided I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. I still continued staying in Bram so that I could apply for UJ, so I could get my things for the coming year in order. I called my mom and was like, yo, It's not working.
Sure.
And they're like, yeah, come back home, yeah. I was like, no, I'm staying here. So I applied. When I realized that I'm leaving this thing, I just applied at UJ. Luckily enough, I got that orange carpet bursary.
Yeah, I also got
so
that
my
too.
first year was
smooth sailing.
yeah. So got that. And I tried applying for bursaries. Unfortunately, didn't
It wasn't
go.
working
It's
out.
too late, My birthday is in September.
Oh, it's already at the end of the year and all of that. Sure.
Yeah, so there were no bursaries available, but Orange Carpet helped me out. And yeah, I just had to sit my family down and be like, yo,
This is what's up.
I tried and it's not working. And like I said, the privilege of having understanding parents who are like, yeah, you tried. We don't know what you were doing because this wasn't you.
Yeah.
You always liked, I did public speaking, debate and stuff like that. So they're like, they didn't understand. But money, we're trying to chase that money. But they understood and they supported me. And I'm really thankful for that.
Oh, I love that. I commend your parents. And like if there's a parent that ever watches this, I hope that this is a learning moment, that just because your child is failing at something, it doesn't mean they're incapable of pursuing something else. So sometimes, yes, scold, because a parent that spares the road is going to have problems. But in your scolding, be supportive and do it in love, because then that way it creates a safe space for your children to be able to confide in you, to be able to share their other interests and stuff like that. So now, what is the biggest lesson you learned from that moment of going for something you didn't like and having to pivot?
Yeah. So when you do that, you realize that this is your last chance. I don't think I could come back to my parents again and be like,
try it again.
Pivoting again. So it was my last chance and I had to go all in. But one thing about me that I realized, and I'm thankful that I'm no longer doing, hopefully, I've always been one of those kids at school who are like the top students, You don't have to try hard. You just pitch up, everything is fine. At Wits, I was like, okay, I'm trying hard and still failing, but my heart is not in it. Then I did something I liked, and I thought because I'm smart.
Those law exams will show you flames. That's what I thought as well.
So I thought it's going to be easy. I'm just going to get in, study the day before and stuff like that. And it's not like that. It doesn't. And also another thing I'm thankful for is I had friends who actually pulled me in and be like, nah, man, like you're smart. You're smart.
Yes, but you need to put in the effort.
Yeah, you need to put in the effort. And that's what that whole thing taught me. You can be smart. And there's a lot of people who are smart, but are not where they want to be.
Sure.
Because the hard work, also with timing. Let's say I didn't have that orange carpet bursary, I don't think I'd still be where I was now, where I am now, because it's luck, hard work, and there's being smart. So it's a combination of all those things.
Yeah.
So in everything I do, I always say, okay, I'm going to work hard, but look at my privilege, how lucky I am to be in that space. So that's that whole thing. Hard work plus luck goes a long way.
Okay. So also what I'm getting is that being intelligent doesn't give you a free pass in life. Yeah. You can pass and be as yourself through things, but you can never cheat the hard-working part. Yeah. Like you can always tell a product of a person that works hard and a product of a person who BS'd themselves through stuff. So it's always important to know that no matter how intelligent you are, you still need to put in the hard work, right? Don't take things for granted, right? Because also intelligence or smartness is relative. And I always say that the brain is a muscle. Yeah. You need to keep training it. Yeah. So if you're not pushing that muscle further, yes, you are grade 12 intelligent, but you're no longer intelligent at university level.
Yes, sorry to jump in, but that's what they said. I remember during engineering, which the statistic is true. They said, look left, look right. One of you is not going to pass in record time. And actually that stat was wrong because if I look back at the people I started with, out of 400 people, only not a lot, like maybe less than 40 passed in record time.
Yeah.
So, and to get into engineering, you have to be really smart. You know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
if you
not
don't put
everybody
in the
that
work,
pass.
you're going to.
You know, actually, I don't know if Mr. Hanacom is still at UJ or was still at UJ when you started. He also said this a similar thing to us during our first year. What was that? That is that induction or something like that first orientation week. He said to us, it's like 600 and something of you right now in class. In second year, it's going to be 400 and something. Third year, it's going to be 300 and something. By the time you graduate, only 40% of the class is going to graduate.
Yeah.
And he was right, he didn't lie. You know, some people drop out because of other reasons, not failing, but there's just a lot of life circumstances. And I think one of the things that I've learned is life is going to happen, right? But don't be a participant in sabotaging your dreams and your aspirations. You do everything within your control to make sure that you're not sabotaging and let other issues sabotage you if they may.
Yeah, and that's where hard work comes in. Let's say NSFAS drops you, which it did in my final year.
Sure.
You put yourself in a position through hard work, you know, through your marks, through studying so hard that even if NSFAS drops you, you can get a bursary in the final year.
Sure.
You know? So even if circumstances happen, just work hard in a manner that you put yourself in a position where you can blame other people and not yourself.
Yes,
You know?
sure.
So you can say, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it's the government.
Yeah, it's the government, you know. It's the government. So, and as a person who's always been the hardest critic, you know, and I think that's how most people are. You know yourself fully. You know that I didn't study. I could have studied more. I didn't study. And you're going to be harsh on yourself.
Sure.
So put yourself in a position where you can't even be that harsh to yourself and be like, I did everything possible. And circumstances just didn't let me. So
Yeah, love that. Then now you get accepted by UJ. At UJ, how was your experience like?
I come in from engineering at Wits, you know, I go to the high school down the road.
Yes. Wow.
So I go to the high school down the road and I'm like, it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
It was not easy. And it's that humbling thing where you get, I think I got 40 for my, is it law of persons or family law? It was in the end of the year. I think it was family law. And I had to get like 60.
You had to fight.
Just to pass.
Yes.
And I remember studying so hard, waking up at 3, studying, going to campus, studying. I studied for like 4 days straight without rest. And I passed. I got a great mark. And it was a great feeling, you know. And I was like, oh my God, I need this feeling more.
Yes.
You know?
Takes you on a high.
So I was mediocre in my first year.
Sure.
Very mediocre. And then that family law scenario, not wanting to put yourself in that position where you need a miracle.
Yes, you need God to come down from his throne.
You know, you need a miracle to pass. And working so hard and that thrill, you know, studying, and when the marks come and you're like, oh my God, I need this high, you know. Second year, it was that throughout. Studied. Got distinctions. Oh, I need this feeling.
Love
more
that.
often. Third, studied. COVID.
Okay. And then now you have to be at home.
You have to be at
and
home.
you have to pivot around that as well, because now we used to a system where we're going to campus. Now you're studying from wherever you are.
Yeah. Now, how do you study when everyone is around, you know? And I got COVID. I got the original COVID. You see, when
The first phases.
from Italy.
When it landed.
That one from Italy.
Were you at the airport?
That's the one. So I got COVID from Italy, and it nearly took me out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it was bad. And imagine having to study through that. And I'm that one person who's always like, I'm not sick. I'm not sick.
It's not that deep.
It's, yeah, what's this headache? I have migraines all the time.
Yeah.
This is nothing. So having to study through that, it pushes you. And my experience was one of a kind.
It was one of a
It
kind.
was one of a kind. You have to study. You have to do exams when you are timed. Do you remember? I don't know
Yes.
if you are timed. If you close your laptop, it's child.
Yes. One mistake, network glitch, it's over.
over.
Now you have to be emailing the deans of the deans and everything like that. Sure.
That experience, it's one of those things, but also it was that having to work in a situation where you're not accustomed to.
Yes. Being adaptable.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're like, everything is a lesson. And I took that as a lesson whereby I'm like, okay, this working from home, this working from home before working from home became cool, So working from home, studying, trying to balance, seeing your family, closing yourself in a room, studying, trying to contact lecturers because lecturers are now separated from you.
Sure.
It's no longer easy. It's not easy.
Can't just go to D ring 7 and be like, hey, can I come consult?
As if
and
it
stuff.
was easy going to D ring 7.
It wasn't at all.
As if, I don't even know who designed that building.
Yo,
like, you get lost so easily.
Engineers and stuff. How they even built it, it's just messy.
So it's not easy just being that close to your lecturers. And there was property. Now,
Yeah. Property.
Studying property during COVID.
Sure.
So it's that hard scenario. Then you have to go back to campus when the lockdown. Well, it wasn't campus. Go back to res when lockdown eased. And you now have to balance not going partying, and that social life is dead. Now it's just studying. And so those scenarios, you just teach yourself. You take a lesson out of everything that happens, and that's my personal philosophy. That everything that happens is a lesson. So yeah, it was hard. UJ was hard. There's this, like, as somebody who went to Wits, it's a high school down the road. It's easy. It's not.
It's not easy, guys. Like, we produce top tier graduates, so it must be hard.
Yeah. So, but one thing I'm thankful for UJ is that it does reward hard work.
Yeah.
If you work hard, you're going to get the results. They're not out there to trick you.
Sure.
Yeah. So, it's one thing that I learned is, like, if you work hard, you're going to get the results. You can become at ease of mind. You can go into exam and be like, whatever happens, but I know that I won't come back with an 18 on my birthday.
Yes, sure.
So yeah, UJ was a great experience, and I'm thankful for what it taught me and the people that it got. I was around. Everyone was so hardworking. Everyone was so, like, they wanted to achieve something.
Sure.
It forces you to just man up.
To want better for yourself.
It forces you when you see somebody's hard work paying for them. You're like, actually, I want that.
Yeah.
And you get that for yourself. And yeah, I'm very thankful for you, Jay. And that day, that 18% on my birthday, very thankful for it, because
in hindsight, you think about it, I'm glad it happened.
I'm very glad it happened.
Okay.
Because, I don't think things would happen as
they did.
Yeah.
Sure. So now, before we go into your actual career, would you prefer studying from home or studying, like, going to physical classes or digital classes?
One thing, I prefer being physical.
Okay.
Yeah. No, when you're physical, when you're in class, and I bet 2019, 2020, 2021, Cat is looking and be like, oh, just win. But being in class, that's something you won't have. It forces you to pay attention.
Yes.
It forces you to pay attention, to be in the moment. When you're at home, you just look at your phone. You get distracted easily. When you're at the classroom, it's so easy to just approach the lecturer. Even you're not holding everyone. If we are in class in Zoom and that one person is busy asking questions, hey, Chief, we're trying to leave. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But in class, you can just be by yourself, and the lecturer knows you. They see your face,
Sure.
and it makes it easier when you have a question and you don't understand. You can go after hours.
You can interact and all of that.
Like, yes, you remember in class I asked you this question. I went back, I studied it, still don't understand what's going on.
Sure.
Being at home, you are so far removed from that whole experience and the networking with other people, being close to students who understand work, So it robs you of so many things. And that's what I noticed also when we were studying from home.
Yeah.
And classes were digital. It robbed you from so much
Yeah.
networking and so much, that
Human interaction and connection. Yeah.
And it's, when you're staying at home and you have to go to the library, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Love that. So you would rather, you said interactive classes and physical classes
yes, but
rather
work
than
from home.
Work from home, definitely.
Yes, work from home, yes.
Yeah,
We can do that.
I hear you.
But study from the office.
Okay, so now you've went through your LLB degree. Did you know the options available with the law degree? What were your plans? Yes, I want to study law, but what am I going to do? Am I going to be an advocate? Am I going to be a lawyer? Like, attorney, what was the plan?
I feel after I just praised you, Jay, I don't know, maybe it's me. Maybe I missed that class where they talked about the options that are available. I just thought everyone is a lawyer. I just thought that you get an LLB, you become a lawyer. There's no difference between an advocate. There's no difference between an attorney. You're just a lawyer, And maybe I missed that class. I don't want to blame you. Probably
No,
it's that day where I slept.
Just to defend my favorite institution, I don't think it's a UJ thing. I've said with other people as well. I think it's a curriculum thing whereby even in the profession you would see that they don't talk about compliance officers as much. They talk about advocates, attorneys, because it's almost as if our minds are supposed to be directed that way. And then also with UJ, I know that I didn't attend those because I was just also not in deep with extracurricular activities. I know that they would call in law firms.
Yeah.
So law firms would explain what they do. I think in first year there were people that came, but all I remember we had Advocate Mbagaitobi, we had Big Five law firms, and then we had someone from the CCMA, right? But it wasn't as broad then because you think everybody's a lawyer. You don't even know what's going to happen with boards or whatever the case may be. So
So I don't want to slander you, Jay, so I probably missed that class.
Yeah.
So I thought everyone was a lawyer. And then I remember we had applied legal studies. And that's where there was that difference that it was made, that there's attorneys, there's advocates. And still, I feel like even at that point, it wasn't emphasized enough that, wait, listen, it's a very big thing. There's this, if you're an attorney, you have to do 2 years. This is what you can do. You don't, because as a person who grew up watching Suits, you thought as a lawyer, I'm going to be there, hey, my honor,
Yes, you just talk anyhow.
Honor, my justice, So you become an attorney, and that's what everyone knows, During that time, did you apply to a law firm? Have you gotten your articles? No one says, have you applied for your pupillage? No one says, have you applied to this company? They have a graduate program for lawyers, So in my mind, it was always, I'm going to be an attorney because an attorney is, you justice, my lord,
Yes, a litigator, basically, yeah.
And even it's that also, as an attorney, there's so many different attorneys that people who are attorneys, they do contracts, never stepped foot in. And it's something that you can't explain to your family when they ask, Usbusiso wants to know his wife, It's like, I've never done family law in my life, I'm a commercial attorney. And for me, I didn't know that difference. But I applied for a law firm. All of them rejected me,
When did you start applying?
You see, I missed that class. I'm pretty sure now that we reflect, I missed the class. I applied in my final year.
No, it's many of us, and I think that's the thing I'm saying. Like it's a curriculum flaw because I think institutions are disconnected from the workplace. Because even with those law firms coming in, they would come and say da 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 da, but that's it. You never really know that. Okay, if I go to work, this is how I conduct myself. This is how I speak to people. This is what I'm going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. Okay.
And I should apply for law firms in my second year.
Yes, I also started in third year. You're fighting for your life there.
It's too late. If you're applying after second year, it's too late.
Yeah.
Because, you always think that it's like other careers whereby you just need a degree. You just need a degree and you're going to get work. But no, you have to apply in your second year. So for me, it was 2 years too late. So I applied in my 4th year, and everyone was like, okay, the ones that are available is 2024, 2025, like there's
The 2 years further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had already decided, no, I'm going to further my studies. Then I think it was around October, I got a call. Yo, are you available? Are you still
Looking.
Yeah, looking. I was like, hey, who's this? Who's this? And it was my law firm, Katleho Attorneys. I didn't even know I applied.
Yeah, that's how, like, if you've applied so much and you're fighting to get a job, you even forget the law firms.
It's copy and paste. You
Yes.
open Word. It's like copy and paste. Dear mang, please find my CV.
Sure.
So they called and it's like, are you available? Yes, I am available. They gave me a chance. Went to an interview. I don't know how it went, but I guess it went well if I got the job. But did interviews, and then I'm now a candidate attorney. Still don't know what the difference is,
Yeah.
And funny enough, when I was in school, I hated civil procedure. I hated civil procedure so much. Then I get to practice, and they come. It's like, yeah, who's you? Nitemba. I'm Nitemba. Who are you, Katleho? Oh, you're in this department. I was like, oh, which department? Litigation.
Ooh.
Yeah. No. And that's one thing I want to get across, is that just because you have a horrible experience with a subject or a module in varsity, doesn't mean that when you're in practice, you're going to hate it.
Sure.
Because now
that's
I
true.
love litigation. Even though I'm in a different space, I still keep up, Just don't make those experiences with a course your whole identity.
Yes.
Always open yourself up. Yeah. And did 2 years candidate as a candidate attorney. Yeah.
And how was that experience? Was it fun? Was it interesting?
Has there ever been a person sitting on this chair who came and said, my candidate attorney experience was fun?
Roller coaster is what I've had.
It was an experience. It was an experience. It was hard. It was hard.
Sure.
But it's something that I would highly recommend to everyone. I think it teaches you a work ethic that no other place can teach you. Yeah, if you walk into an office that day thinking, oh, today is a Friday, I can't wait until 5. I can't wait to go get a cold brewski, after this. And then at 4...
There's an urgent.
At 4, your principal calls you, it's like, yo, we just received this, urgent. Your weekend is gone, you can't make plans. So, but it's that thing whereby, it teaches you that expect the unexpected. It teaches you to work hard, It teaches you to do something once and do it well.
Yeah.
And that's an experience that I recommend people in our legal environment, not only attorneys, not only advocates, anything you do, just have that experience at a law firm. If you leave, you leave, but have that experience where every day the world is burning.
Yeah.
So that experience taught me a lot, and it put me in a position where I am now. The comments I always get is, oh, you are so attention driven,
Sure.
You are good at what you do. And it's because you try so hard. If you have a principal who's going to come back and be like, I don't think you understood what you were doing. It teaches you to pay attention and ask questions at the start, And it's that experience that I know it's really hard getting articles.
Yeah.
But it's that experience, if you have to consider getting articles, go in and do your articles. It's an experience that is very valuable.
Yeah. I always say I compare it to military training. Like, more than just the work or what the content or the material you get, it's character building.
Yes.
It flips the coin, man. I feel like it teaches you to face life in a different perspective. Nothing can take you down. Some days I have terrible, because I'm also in-house now. Some days I have really terrible days. I'm just like, you don't know what I've been through as a candidate attorney.
Because I feel like, and people who haven't done their articles don't understand. Understand, because they'll be like, yo, work is hard today. Like, work is hard today.
Do you know what it means when you are the reason why a deal of probably 500,000 or millions can't close because you spelled something incorrectly.
Yeah.
You put a clause incorrectly. Now your director is looking at you. This is not fixable. I'm losing a client. I'm losing money. I'm losing time.
Yeah, you might lose your job.
Yeah.
So there was a situation whereby one of the urgents, so we had to interdict an unlawful eviction. So here we are trying to save 50 people's home. I think it's 50 households, so around 200 people. Being human rights lawyers, you know, I was very proud of myself. You know, I was telling everyone, yeah, I saved lives. I'm a
Doing
human
good
rights
thing.
constitutional
Sure.
rights lawyer now. Hey?
Yeah.
So there's we got a rule Nisi and we had to come back another day.
Sure.
I applied for that day as a candidate attorney, you know. We didn't get the date. They're like, no, there's no court on this day. Like, that day you said like there's no court
At all. Yeah, so you
And
wouldn't get that date.
now the scenario is that the rule Nisi is going to expire and the interdict is gone. The people are going to get evicted. I had to go to court, beg the registrars.
I feel like that's the thing about being a candidate. It teaches you how to beg.
Yeah.
You beg to keep your job. You beg for those clerks at court to help you. Listen, you'll be a beggar.
You don't throw away, around, I'm a lawyer. Yeah.
You don't.
Actually, if you go in saying, I'm a lawyer,
Nobody wants to
gone.
help you.
Oh, I'm a candidate attorney. No.
I'm dying.
Oh.
And Gary, every time you say you're a candidate attorney, everybody feels for
Yes,
you.
yes.
I think a lot of the
disarms
people,
them.
yeah,
It disarms
true.
them. Because if you come in with that arrogance that I'm a lawyer, you know, they're going to be like,
You
you're
know
a lawyer.
too much.
You're not
Sure.
going to fix this though. So I had to beg. I had to call judges, clerks. I had to, it was a horrible time. But then I got a call and they're like, hey, this judge says they're willing to hear your matter, but explain what happened. I had to go now, write an affidavit. 50 people evicted, no date.
Yeah.
And the judge was like, yes, we'll hear your matter. And I went. It was just me and the advocate that day. And the judge was like, is this the matter where the candidate attorney had to do the affidavit? Then the advocate was like, no. And I stood at back, yes, Your Honor. it was me. I was like, thank you for that, you know. And it's that thing where the judge was like, thank you for doing this. You know?
It pushes you.
Yeah, and it put me in a position whereby it taught me another thing. It's never over until it's over.
Yes.
You know? It's never over until it's over. Push, try, do everything possible so that if at the end you can blame somebody, make sure it's not you.
Yeah, that's true. You know what my old principal used to say? In law, nothing is not fixable. So every time we'd panic, he's like, Yvonne, you're going to go to court, you're going to go into the boardroom, you are going to fix it because in law, we can fix everything. Like, we're miracle workers.
Yeah, but don't tell our families that because, we don't know. Yeah.
No, I hear you. So now, I feel like we've spoken so much, but we haven't gotten to your current role now. Like, firstly, take us through what happened for you to decide that, you know what, I'm not going to pursue this further. And, okay, maybe let's start with, how were boards? Did you do your board exams or you were just like, deuces?
Yeah, no, I did the boards. I did the boards.
The boards, they're not boarding.
I did the boards. The boards were done. But hey, are the boards doable? So that's the question. But yeah, I did the boards. I pivoted because I'm a person who always wants to know what's out there. I've had an experience of being an attorney. But now I've always wanted that corporate, you know, because like I said, if you go back, I watched Suits and I thought corporate was the be all end all. And I was like, okay, let me go see how it is that side. And now I'm going to answer a question you haven't even asked.
Yeah.
What's compliance?
Yes, I was getting at that.
Yeah. So when I applied for the job, I also didn't know.
Were you still at articles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I also didn't know what compliance is. But compliance is how do you make sure that you're always in the right? You know? A company has 500, 5,000, 50,000 people. How do those people know that every day we are not breaking one law or
Sure.
another? So as a compliance consultant, we go in, we check the company. Company have things called regulatory universes, whereby it's where they write down their laws, codes that are applicable to them, King Code. Other industries have their own codes, they write them down and be like, okay, this is what's applicable to us. This is our Bible,
Sure.
Then us as consultants, we go in and we check, is it fit for purpose? That Companies Act says is applicable to you. How is it applicable to you? Your retention of records. The Company Act says you have to retain these records for this long. Are you doing that? Do you have a policy for that?
Sure.
Company have policies. It's something that I also didn't understand. What's a policy? A policy is what a company does. How does it do things? If it buys water, how does it buy water?
Yes.
Who do you go to? Who do you ask? I want water. What does that person have to do? What are the checks and balances?
Sure.
So as a regulatory compliance consultant, you check
all of those things.
You check, is it fit for purpose? Is it feasible? Does it make sense? So you go to this person, is this role there? Is this person overworked? Do you have to break down this role and make it into two? So it's more optimally functioning. So that's what compliance does. So we are the fixers.
Yeah, basically. You are the fixers.
We are the fixers.
And you ensure that people follow the rules and the procedures.
There's a saying that I read somewhere that when I'm still doing my master's, I remember in my ignorance saying, why does a company have to follow King? Because King doesn't have any punishments if you don't follow it.
Yes.
So why does a company have to follow it? And the saying is, a company to follow the Companies Act, you're going to be fine. You're going to be 50%. There are things they're going to follow up. But if you follow King, you're going to meet everything that the Company Act wants from you. So these codes and these practices that organizations have, it's how they try to meet their regulatory obligations.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We just make sure that companies meet the regulation.
All right. So from what time do you start work and what time do you knock off?
Start work at 8.
Okay.
I knock off at 5.
You work from home?
Yes.
Okay, that's where the laugh came from, because people that work from home.
Yes.
Motho no thoma mmereko ka 3 p.m.
I always call my friends at 3. It's like, my friends are still in practice. I'm like, yeah, no, Chief, slangana wupi. Like, Chief, I'm still working. He's like, you practice people.
Yeah.
But yeah, a majority of time I work from home. And if you work overtime when you're not in practice, it's a big deal because I have to pay you more. Why are you working overtime? In practice, it's I expect you to work overtime.
I paid you already in your salary. There's an amount for overtime.
Actually, when you pack your bags at 5, you get dirty looks.
Yes.
Like, why are you leaving?
Yeah, currently there's something wrong with you. You're a lazy bunch.
So yeah, I work from 8 to 5. A majority of my time work from.
Okay. Does your role require one to be an admitted attorney?
No.
No requirement whatsoever.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. There are graduate recruitment programs.
Okay.
So you first get taught what the role is.
Okay.
And then you get into the industry.
Okay. So currently so right now what you're doing is a graduate program.
Yeah, I'm in my final year.
Oh, okay. Because, how many years is it?
I pivoted, it's 3.
Okay.
So because I did the pivot, they're like, oh my God, we need you. Just oh my God.
You look attractive.
Yes. So I skipped so many years and they put me in the final because also in Big 4 law firms, not law firms,
accounting
firms, yes. They don't want to put you straight in the role.
Yeah.
Especially even if you have the experience, they don't want to put you straight.
They invest in training.
Yes, they want to make you first understand what you're doing.
Yeah. All right. Okay, love that. Okay, before we were about to close, ne, and I know you said you're not gonna tell us, but but give us a range so that someone at home can be motivated to be like, you know what, let me go apply for this job. Salary, you don't have to tell us your salary, but like because you see your pay slip,
Yeah.
so you can range it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good money.
What is good
It's
money
good
in
money.
Cyril's economy?
Vele, ne? You know, we're going to go political again. What's good money in Cyril's economy? It's it's money that
Please give us figures. Okay, give us per annum, gross.
per annum it's
Above.
above 300,
Okay.
below 500.
Okay,
In that
that's decent. We're looking at about my 30K a month, ne? Or 35 there. I'm stretching. You know what I'm talking about, your salary.
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say.
Okay, guys. So if you're looking at a governance and compliance role in an accounting firm, you're looking at something between 300 to say 480,000 rand or less than, but not below 300,000 unless maybe it's a medium firm
Yeah.
or a smaller firm.
Yeah.
That's good money.
Yeah, and also you negotiate for yourself.
Oh,
You
yeah.
make yourself attractive. You know?
Yeah.
So you might come from school and get more than what anyone, because it's, you know, at big firms it's structured.
Yes.
So you might be able to talk yourself above.
Yes.
So always try. That's what I always tell people. Always make yourself attractive.
Yeah.
Always sell yourself. You know? But it's good money. It's not the 8,000 you get. Some candidate trainees get, you know.
Sure.
And especially if you're lucky to get the role from varsity.
Yeah.
It's going to be good money. It's going
Yeah.
to be good money. It's going to set you up.
No, I love that. And I love what you touched on to say it's very important to negotiate for your salary, guys. Don't just take an offer. So when they ask you how much you want, if you want 400,000, say 450,000, because in the negotiating process, they are going to land on 420 or on the 400. So always should higher than you
Shoot
actually
for the
want.
stars so you can fall on the clouds.
Yeah. Hey, Shakespeare.
You know.
This was so beautiful. Thoroughly enjoyed it. In closing, what is the season of your life called, if you were to name it?
It's sewing. It's where we sew, and that's something that a lot of people in our field are doing currently.
Yes.
Because law only pays off when you are in 20, 25 years. That's where
Yes.
it starts paying off. So now we have to start sewing, putting ourselves in the position whereby you can, when it's time for you to get where you're going, you are ready.
Sure.
You know, so don't jump steps. And sometimes it might feel like you are stuck. It might feel like you are not where you want to be. So just believe in yourself, work hard. And in Cyril's economy, if you're not being political, you might not feel like that. But one day you're going to look back and be like, that's exactly what needed to happen for me to be here.
Okay, I love that. If you're starting your career, your legal career, or whatever career you're starting, so put in, and when it's time, you will just blossom and you will just get a good harvest. To everybody at home, thank you so much for watching. Katleho, thank you so much for honoring my invite. Although you wanted to cancel me,
I'm
swine
sick.
flu.
I'm sick. Please.
But thank you so much for watching. Happy Employment Wednesdays, and do not always remember that you are not alone. You are gracefully anchored. Happy Youth Month. I hope you are the youth that makes the difference. Thank you for watching.